Racism. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. And yet it's so prevalent, especially now. Today I'm going to explore the topic of racism in this podcast. I'm going to see if and how we can better understand it. Two, if there are any solutions to ending it. And three, what, if any, is ours to do to eradicate it? Thank you for joining me. I'm Indigo, and you're listening to Making Meaning. So first, what is racism? According to the Baha'i writings, racism is a profound deviation from the standard of true morality. It deprives a portion of humanity of the opportunity to cultivate and express the full range of their capability and to live a meaningful and flourishing life. It also goes on to say, racism, one of the most baneful and persistent evils, is a major barrier to peace. Its practice perpetuates too outrageous a violation of the dignity of human beings to be countenanced under any pretext. So let's flush that out a little bit to see if we can get a better understanding of racism, which really doesn't make sense to me at all. So when I see racism, I see people, or actually a group of people, an entire race of people for that matter, who are hated based on what? Religion, or more so, the color of their skin. Now, think about it. Does that make sense? To hate someone, or actually a group of people based on, or entire race actually, based on the color of their skin, based on their religion, what they believe in, and how they dress? Does that make sense? It's just not logical. And yet it is so prevalent in our world. And how did it get to be that way? Okay, well, I believe that racism is taught. We teach little children to hate in that manner. And it's the older people, their parents, or someone who they depend on for a moral foundation, who teach their children this. And part of the reason that they do it is because they also were taught. These adults were taught as children. So we teach, and then we reteach it. We teach it over and over and over, and it perpetuates into hateful behavior that is very dangerous to others. And as a result, racism has gotten to be systematic. It's ingrained in how we do business, how we conduct our lives. Certain people cannot get loans to buy a home. They can't live in certain neighborhoods as a result of things such as redlining. There are all sorts of things. Wearing a certain kind of dress might depict that you are of a certain religion and might put you in danger. There are so many things that is outrageous in the way humans treat each other, that we must start to take a look at those things and at those behaviors, and take a good look at ourselves and ask ourselves, why do I hate an entire race of people because of the color of their skin or because of their religion. Why? Does it make sense? And then that's a question that I would ask. And then I would take a look at myself and ask myself, do I like myself? And am I projecting this kind of nonsense or dislike onto others because I don't feel good about myself? Because there is no way in the world that if I felt good about myself, that I would teach a young child to dislike others. I would teach that child to love themselves and therefore understand the golden rule of being sure to treat others the way that I want to be treated. And that is the solution, I believe, to getting rid of racism, is to understanding yourself. Who are you? When I take a good look in the mirror and I can actually look at myself and decide whether I like myself or not. And then some people can't do that. Some people cannot take a strong look in the mirror and look and look at the things that's inside of them that needs to be corrected. And that is part of what we need to do. So in the Baha'i reading further in terms of a solution to ending racism, it says, freedom from racial prejudice in any of its forms should, at such a time as this, when an increasingly large section of the human race is falling a victim to its devastating ferocity, be adopted as the watchword of the entire body of they've got American community, but it's really a world community of this, of course, very prevalent in the U.S. And it goes on to say, in whichever state they reside, in whatever circles they move, whatever their age, traditions, tastes, and habits, it should be consistently demonstrated in every phase of their activity and life. It should be deliberately cultivated through the various and everyday opportunities, no matter how insignificant, that present themselves. And in my view, to flush that out a little bit, it falls back to loving yourself. And loving yourself doesn't mean that you're self-absorbed. It can in another definition, but loving ourselves means that we take care of ourselves and we like treat ourselves well, and in terms of mentally, physically, and spiritually. So we take good care, we eat well, we exercise, and we practice good emotional and spiritual foundational methods, whatever that may mean for you. For me, I believe in God, and I understand that God created everyone and everything, and therefore we are all God's children. Every single last one of us are God's children. And not just us, all of the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom belong to God. Look at all the different types of flowers that God made, and they all live together well in the garden, and the trees and the animal kingdom. They all get along real well. Now, if one of them are hungry and they're carnivores, that's a different story. The feeding levels are different. But it's not a matter of hate. It's a matter of, for the animal kingdom, it's a matter of eating. And we are supposed to be human kingdom. We're supposed to be the ones with the intellect. let's act like it. And what can we do? What is mine to do? What is yours to do to end the disease of racism? Well, according to the Baha'i writings, the courage, the resolution, the pure motive, the selfless love of one people for another, all the spiritual and moral qualities required for effecting this momentous step towards peace are focused on the will to act. It is towards arousing the necessary volition that earnest consideration must be given to the reality of man, namely his thought. And there it goes. It's the way we think about ourselves is how we project onto others. If we don't feel good about who we are, sometimes if we don't have a strong foundation of that love for ourselves, we will project that dislike and hate that may have been taught to us onto others. And so that is a way, I believe, of ending and eradicating racism. It begins with me. It begins with you. It begins with me loving myself and wanting that same love to be extended to you.